Here for reaction, Fox News contributor Joe Concha, along with CPAC chair Matt Schlapp, two friends of ours. Joe, let me start with you. It's a mess and not getting better, and now they're starting to talk about it to their buddies in the media.
Yeah, Pete, first, that stat on 70 people having to manage social media accounts. I mean, how does that work on your average day? Hey, who's got it today? Number 14? No, I think 32 has it. Actually, 69 has. I mean, 70 people? I mean, boy, give me that job. You probably don't have to work all that much. But look, dysfunction in this White House is not a recent development, as described in these stories. It has existed for nearly a year since Afghanistan fell to the Taliban, and somehow no one saw that coming. And my main takeaway, Pete, from these pieces is that the White House simply believes that it has a messaging problem, which it does. But in the end, people really don't care about rhetoric. They care about results. And the results, 16 months in this administration, are horrific. I mean, inflation is almost 6 times higher than it was when Donald Trump left office. 6 times. Gas prices have increased 100% since this president took office. Crime continues to spiral out of control. Criminals are more brazen than ever because they know if they get arrested, there's a good chance they'll be back out on the street quickly. And the crisis that is a catastrophe at the border only gets worse, all while fentanyl that is primarily coming in through the U.S. southern border is killing Americans at an unprecedented rate. So there is no cute hashtag or bumper sticker that spins all of this into convincing people that everything is really A-OK. Voters see what they see. They feel what they feel. Increasingly, it's clear, Pete, that the adults are not back in the room.
No, it's true. Matt, I don't know how many people manage your account over there at CPAC, but I do know under Donald Trump, it was only Donald Trump and maybe Dan Scavino, maybe 2 people on social media.
Right.
Now it's up to 70. But that raises kind of my next question. Is this a policy problem, Matt? Is this a POTUS problem? Or is this a Democrat Party problem where they have gone so far left and Joe's in that box? He's got 70 people around him making sure whatever comes out of account is right down the line. He can't change if he wants to, but obviously this is the house that he's built.
Well, unfortunately, it's the whole ball of wax there, Pete. You have a candidate or a president who's simply not up to the job. He doesn't have the physical vitality to do the job. They don't tell him things that are happening because my guess is he's not in that office all day long. And so they have to kind of pick their moments when he's ready to hear something. And they never gelled as a team because of Zoom and doom and their fear over getting sick with this virus and all that panic. He was elected president without running a real campaign and having a real operation where people bond. I've been on those presidential campaigns, and you really bond when you're getting attacked and you see that you can work together as a team. They don't seem to have that. It starts right with Kamala Harris. The other thing that I find astounding is how quickly they proved that socialism is a cancer in our country. You know, they usually get away with trying to spend more to solve problems and blaming Republicans for things like shootings and stuff, and they get away with that because of all their allies in the media. The problem is that all of these policies have compounded to this out-of-control inflation that it seems like there's nothing they can do because they always want to spend more to solve it. Combine that with the fact that our energy prices, which is part of inflation, has everybody panicked about what's going to happen with their jobs. And let's bring up one last thing. We're not even back to the employment rates, something like 500,000 jobs shy of where we were before the pandemic. So they can tell us that everything's great, but we're not even where we were before the pandemic. And the American people aren't stupid.
No, they're not. Joe, the White House press corps famously, I mean, we see this. You saw it under Obama. You see the way they went after Trump. You see the way they with kid gloves, treated Biden. But for these stories to start coming out, it's one thing for Fox News to tell this story. It's another thing for D.C. insider publications to start talking about not just dysfunction, but chaos.
Yeah, we follow sports pretty closely, Pete, right? And you see this when teams that were supposed to be pretty good going into a season, suddenly things go south in a hurry and everybody starts pointing fingers and running to the press, telling you what players are the problems or what coaches are the problems. And that's what's happening now. Everybody's pointing fingers because they don't want to be blamed. But the writing is on the wall, clearly. And it's very apparent to this White House that they're about to suffer an historic shellacking, to Matt's point, in the November midterms. I mean, this is an administration that is viewed as incompetent and slow to react to crises. And this view extends to more than a few Democrats as well. And here you have more than a few in media who seem surprised that we are where we are under this president. Because in their zest to get rid of the former president and Trump, they didn't bother to look very much at the guy who replaced him and has failed upwards his entire career, Pete. So, yeah, and focusing on Trump, no one really took a good look at Biden and just how decision after decision he has made, whether it be foreign policy or domestic, have not been good ones. He doesn't have the instincts, clearly.
It's true. Matt, last word real quick.
Yeah, no, this is a real problem that the Biden administration has, is that the reason why they can't get out of this hole is because there's no way to get out of the hole. They can't use the president. They can't use the vice president. Their policies suck, and they're going to get killed in the midterms. And I think the Democratic Party is going to be seen as a left-leaning party, much like Labour was in the UK, and it could be a long way back for them, which I'm actually pretty happy about.
Yep, me too. I like that analysis. Matt Schlapp, Joe Concha, thank you both. Appreciate it. Have a great night.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.